The Passage of Power, The Years of Lyndon Johnson, is the fourth installment in Robert A. Caro's monumental biography of the 36th President of the United States, Lyndon B. Johnson. The book covers the years 1958 to 1964, a period marked by Johnson's ascent to the Vice Presidency, the assassination of President John F. Kennedy, and Johnson's sudden and unexpected rise to the presidency. Caro's account is exhaustive, detailed, and deeply researched, drawing on interviews with hundreds of people who knew and worked with Johnson, as well as on a vast archive of documents and recordings. The result is a rich and complex portrait of Johnson as a politician, a strategist, and a human being, set against the backdrop of a tumultuous and transformative period in American history. If you'd like to listen to this book on Audible for free, you can click the link in the description below. If you'd rather read this book, I've added a link to Amazon. Please feel free to leave a comment suggesting another book you'd like me to summarize. Now back to the summary. The book begins with Johnson's frustrated efforts to secure the Democratic nomination for president in 1960, a contest ultimately won by John F. Kennedy. Despite his disappointment, Johnson throws himself into the campaign, crisscrossing the country to rally support for the Democratic ticket. When Kennedy wins the election, he surprises many by selecting Johnson as his running mate, a decision that Caro suggests was driven in part by Kennedy's desire to placate the conservative Southern Democrats, whom Johnson had long cultivated as his power base. Johnson's vice presidency is portrayed as a frustrating and largely ceremonial role, with Kennedy keeping him at arm's length and assigning him few meaningful responsibilities. Johnson chafes at his marginalization, but he bides his time, aware that his ambitions for higher office can only be realized if he remains a loyal and effective vice president. Everything changes on November 22, 1963, when Kennedy is assassinated in Dallas. Caro's account of the events surrounding the assassination is gripping and detailed, drawing on a wide range of sources to reconstruct the confusion, fear, and grief that gripped the nation in the wake of Kennedy's death. He shows how Johnson, thrust into the presidency in the midst of this crisis, managed to maintain his composure and assume the reins of power, despite the shock and uncertainty of the moment. The heart of the book is Caro's portrayal of Johnson's first year in office, a period marked by both triumphs and setbacks. He moves quickly to assume the presidency, assembling a team of advisors and setting an ambitious agenda for his administration. He pushes through a landmark civil rights bill, despite fierce opposition from Southern Democrats and other conservative forces. He also launches a broad array of social programs, including Medicare, Medicaid, and Head Start, that would come to define his Great Society vision for America. At the same time, Johnson faces a number of daunting challenges, both at home and abroad. He struggles to manage the escalating conflict in Vietnam, which threatens to consume his presidency and tarnish his legacy. He also grapples with the fallout from the assassination, which leaves him emotionally and politically vulnerable. He must navigate a fractious and divided Democratic Party, which is torn between competing visions of how to move the country forward. Caro's account of Johnson's handling of these challenges is nuanced and complex, showing both his strengths and his weaknesses as a leader. He portrays Johnson as a masterful politician with a keen understanding of how to wield power and build coalitions. He also shows Johnson's darker side, including his ruthless tactics in dealing with his enemies and his tendency towards hubris and self-aggrandizement. One of the most compelling threads of the book is Caro's exploration of Johnson's relationship with the Kennedy family, particularly with Robert Kennedy, whom Johnson initially sees as a threat to his presidency. Caro shows how the two men come to respect and even admire one another, despite their profound political and personal differences. Please click the subscribe button and head down to the description below to listen to this book for free on Audible. See you in the next summary.